Maxwell was here. As opposed to, Maxwell wasn't here, mind your own business. So yeah, another bad pasta. I've seen worse, I've seen better. Let's just start reading. So the guy tells us he is relieved to tell us about this horrific event after 3 months. I feel like a therapist. Anyways, chapter 1. How it all started. All beginning with caps letters. That's how you know he means business. So he was going on the internet searching for cool mods for games, and I think I might help you out there. Tell me, have you ever played Spelunky? But never mind my self-promoting, he's just found like a portal gun mod for Mario. You mean Mario? Because I'm sure you mean Mario. He downloaded the file, but he also needed to find the original Mario game, and with his luck he found one. Not to burst your bubble, but the first Super Mario game isn't exactly the most difficult thing to find on Google. I mean, check CoolROM, it's right there. But apparently it was not all that it seemed, because the site was called imeruren.org. When he clicked it, there was only one thing that appeared on screen, which was text saying download. Isn't that what download links do? Knowing the internet, that's probably just text or an image that doesn't work. But it did. It downloaded the thing after less than 15 seconds because they don't have my internet. And apparently the speed of the download was so intense that he fell asleep. In 15 seconds. At least it's slower than Doovie. And he woke up and started playing the game. So the whole sleep thing is just pointless. So he then noticed there's only a 1-player option. I mean, might as well. The 2-player option isn't very different, to be honest. Then he pasted the mod files into the game files. I mean, usually Mario is in like a ROM or an NES file, but he got it from some crazy German government website, so who knows what the fuck happened. But then he got an error message in German, which is odd because the base game is in German, not the mod. The error read, Sie haben einen fatalen Fehler gemacht. Well, for sure I know that gemacht means to be done in past tense, and fatalen Fehler sounds like fatal error. Sie means it's in plural. Also, they added in haben instead of hat to make it an auxiliary verb, just to make it more threatening or some shit. So I say that the message is something along the lines of, you have made a fatal error. Yeah, I was learning German for some time. I'm not too good at it though. In fact, what I just said may not even be true, in which case I'm the one making the fatal error, so... He didn't know what it said, so he just continued playing the game without the mod. So he started the game and surprise, surprise! He had a portal gun. Oh well, that explains it. He didn't want to take your mod file because the game already has a portal gun feature. Those crazy Germans. They know what's best for Mario. So he continued playing the game normally until he got to the flagpole. If Mario starts stripping and then doing a pole dance, that will legitimately scare me. But no, this was unusual because he jumped over the entire flagpole. You know that you know that you can actually jump over it in the actual game, right? Psycho taught me. So the guy found a warp zone over the flagpole, 3 in fact. They led to worlds 6, 7, and 8, but a small hole was labeled with big letters saying hell. Well, in which case, all Dante Alighieri should have done is go over a flagpole and flush himself down a toilet, and there you go, welcome to hell. All the pipes were clogged, so the only logical solution? Restart the game. No, of course not. The logical thing to do is to go to the hell! At the very least, they grow fire flowers there, so Mario will be right at home. So he was at the final castle, which I guess is hell? Bowser must be Satan. I don't believe it. And on the walls was realistic blood saying Maxwell was here. That scared him to death, and he openly admits that he shit himself. I have no idea what this guy will do if he saw the don't starve quit game message. Probably wouldn't even have pants on. He'd be toast. So he finds Bowser crying realistic tears. You know, hell isn't exactly my idea of realistic, but to each his own pit of eternal torture and damnation. So he got close to Bowser and the German error popped up again. At which point he looked up the word and it's actually what I told you. In which case he even shat even more. Change your pants already, they're dripping. Jesus, at least Shaggy never shit his pants. So he continued on. Because yeah. And then the title screen said, please type in a name. Wait, what happened to Bowser Boy? Did he just continue sobbing, or did he eat the princess's comfort food? So he typed in his cousin's name for shits and giggles and pressed enter. He should have just wrote down some random jumble of text, so the unfortunate person called it would have to suffer. So then right after that, Mario has died. And then the screen said, you lose. I mean, I guess he does. I mean, let's be honest, game over and you lose are both true statements. So the PC shut off and the guy realized that he's been playing for 14 hours. I think Shrapnel wrote this pasta. So he went to sleep and the next morning he found out that his cousin has been murdered. How the hell did the murderer know who to kill? The guy just wrote down the guy's first name. Even if he wrote down both his first and last name, they'd still be conflict. I mean, haven't you ever seen The Terminator? The murderer was Maxwel Miller. Glad he gave him the most generic German last name on the planet. Imagine what would have happened if the guy wrote down Maxwell instead of his cousin's name. That mean he would have to kill himself? Anyways, the news broadcasted security camera footage where the guy looked at the screen and said, "You lose." How predictable. Then he just straight up shot himself with a gun. Oh wow, looks like somebody really did type in Maxwell on the name screen. Also, how did he get a gun? Either he pulled it out of his ass or the cops that arrested him are very bad at their job. So after, you know, the news broadcast footage of a criminal killing himself for all of America to see, the guy went to the site again. And the site was dead. Of course it was, it never really existed. I checked that shit on Wayback Machine. This is not authentic. 0 out of 1. Then he looked up the phrase Immer Uhren, and it actually means always watches. Well, now he can't really watch at all because he's dead. He ain't a ghost. He's just a foppish 20s styled guy trapped in another dimension with very dapper clothing. Well, that was stupid, but not as stupid as other stupid things I've read. But definitely more stupid than other stupid things that I've read. That's it for today, so goodbye and stupid. Also, Doofy, I'm proud of you for not talking throughout the entire review. Have a cookie. All the pipes were clogged, so the only logical resolution? Logical resolution. Good job.